What is up, everyone? It's Pokemon Trainer Mikey with another Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl Wi-Fi battle. This time with a 3-part series against another fellow YouTuber, GOLDENBOY. I will link his channel in the description. Now, he had reached out to me on Discord and challenged me, and I'm very excited because he seems very serious and competitive about Pokemon, which I absolutely respect, and I love when I battle someone. Now, before we get into the battle, make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe to my channel. I love making Pokemon competitive videos, so that's what I do with my time if I can. And just looking at his team, you see that it's pretty threatening. Entei, Togekiss, Milotic, Garchomp, Weavile, and Magnezone. Now, I don't see an overt stealth rocker, so I'm thinking that's going to be the rule of the Garchomp for sure. And that Togekiss could be utility, it may just be versatile in other ways, and that Entei is very scary amongst the other threats that he has as well. Now I have 2 common leads, Roserade and Ambipom, but I decided to click first on Flygon just in case he went for the Magnezone as the lead, because Ambipom and Roserade really can't do anything to it, right? So getting into the battle now, he's going to lead with Entei, and I'm going to lead with Flygon, which is a perfect matchup. And Enteis are kind of like my kryptonite, you know, like I can never seem to get my way around them. They are very, very strong, especially since in this gen they're usually carrying Choice Band. So between the Extreme Speed, the Bulldoze, the Sacred Fire, Entei always seems to rip into my teams. But with my Flygon on the field, I am at the advantage. So all I have to really do is just click Earthquake, right? Well, I know he has a Togekiss sitting in the back, and he's not dumb. I have a feeling he's definitely going to switch. So I decided to go for the early prediction and go for the U-turn right away. I could have gone Iron Tail, which was more of a risk because of that low accuracy, but I just decided to, you know what, set up the U-turn, bring in whatever I want, and just start going from there. He does go into the Togekiss, so I do accurately predict that, and now I get a free switch. So I'm looking at my team, and I'm thinking, you know what, Raikou is the easiest play. However, I'd rather go into Roserade. It is a kind of weird move because, you know, Togekiss does have the advantage with Air Slash, but me being a poison type, I can just Sludge Bomb him. I decide to go for the Toxic Spikes here because I really want to start punishing that Entei, because I know Entei is going to give me a hard time. I know Milotic will give me a hard time. I'd rather Milotic get poisoned than burned if they have the Marvel Scale with the Flame Orb. So I'm trying to think in terms of longevity as opposed to just in the moment, because if I go into Raikou, they could easily just switch into Garchomp. So I'd rather set up some entry hazards as opposed to quick damage here and there, if that makes any sense. So he goes into the Magnezone as I set up my Poison Spikes or Toxic Spikes, and you know, you would think that I would want to switch here as well because I really can't do anything. I could go into Flygon, but they could easily Flash Cannon me. I actually decided to stay in with Roserade here and set up even more and go for the Leech Seed, because I don't really need Roserade a whole lot in this match. It's not super fast. It's also not as needed against his team. I mean, Weavile, Magnezone, Garchomp, Entei, they all destroy me. So again, I'd rather just start annoying him and setting things up and kind of forcing his switch, as opposed to switching out and something else taking immense damage. But anyway, I do land the Leech Seed, and it turns out he is going to lock himself into the Flash Cannon. I'm just assuming this thing is Choice Specs because 95% of the time Magnezones do carry Choice Specs. So I am going to get out of there and just get my easy switch into Raikou now, because, you know, I was doing damage calcs. I think that's why this battle, and I'm just going to give you a heads up, this battle does end up timing out because I knew that this guy was definitely going to be competitive, and I was running calcs and kind of just doing my research during the battle. I was a little nervous, and it turns out that, you know, Flash Cannon from a Choice Specs Magnezone would definitely do more damage to Starmie than it would to Raikou. So I decided to go into the Raikou here, and I don't take a whole lot of damage from that Flash Cannon, and I am going to get some recovery from the Leech Seed back. So that's good to know. I am starting to dwindle down that Magnezone slowly but very surely, and I'm just going to get some healing on my Raikou because I am Specs and there's no way for me to heal myself. But for this turn, I do decide to go for the Scald because he does have Garchomp. I can't just Volt Switch or Thunderbolt freely. It would kind of be a poor move on my part. So I am anticipating that the Garchomp does come in. Now, unfortunately, because I decided to go for the Toxic Spikes, I can't get a burn with the Scald. But it is what it is. I do want to see how much that the Scald does do to Garchomp, though. So Garchomp does come in. I feel like my predictions have been going very well. I feel like I'm kind of taking control of this battle early on. Now they do get poisoned, and right there, Unfortunately, Garchomp does carry the Lumberry, and it's going to cure itself from its poison. But man, am I lucky, because I get the first burn on the Scald, on the first Scald, I should say. And this Garchomp was just meant to have a status condition, Lumberry or not. So, like I said, I do feel like I'm in control of this battle. The predictions have gone pretty well. You know, this Garchomp isn't really as threatening as I thought it was going to be, and I can just really switch into my fully defensive invested Scizor and not worry about a damn thing. So this thing actually is going to go for Stealth Rocks, which I did see coming, so I could have left in Raikou, but I also didn't want to risk it. You will all see what I'm talking about in terms of me saying that I need to keep Raikou as healthy as possible down the line later on in the battle. Now, my logic for this next move is I really want to make sure I get rid of the Stealth Rocks. I have an offensive pivoter like Ambipom. I have a pivoter with Scizor. I don't want to be punished for my switches. So I can set up Toxic Spikes with Roserade at a different point in this battle. I don't necessarily need them right now. But thankfully, my opponent does make the switch into the biggest threat, Entei. So not only am I going to get rid of the Stealth Rocks and not have to worry about taking damage from them this turn, but my biggest threat is going to get poisoned from my entry hazards, and that is just such a victory in and of itself for me. So right now, I can, now that I know that Entei's on the field, I have to switch out of there. A Scizor is not the ideal candidate for taking on an Entei. And you would think that it would be obvious for Starmie to be my next switch, but I took 50 seconds just to decide and actually bring in Starmie. Like I said, I was doing a lot of damage calcs and a lot of carefully calculating what my next move would be based on those damage calcs. And, I kind of forget that these battles are 20 minutes and, the time feature just really sucks. They go for the Sacred Fire, and I knew it was coming. Unfortunately, Sacred Fire has a 50% chance of burning its target, and I get burned. At that point, just the flip of a coin, so it sucks, but that's the game. I also see that this Entei does have Life Orb, which sucks because now this thing isn't locked into Sacred Fire, and it could hurt me with another move. So you'd think that Scald is like the easy move for me here. Not the case, because this thing can just go for extreme speed and KO my Starmie. So Starmie takes a huge L there, which absolutely sucks. Starmie was one of my powerhouses that I was relying on for this match, and it's a no-go. Now, between the Life Orb and the Toxic Spikes, yeah, this Entei is nearly KO'd, but I'm in such a tough spot now that Starmie's gone. Looking at my team here, Ambipom is very frail. Scizor really can't do much to a lot of his team, actually. Flygon and Raikou, I get locked into a move, and I can't do anything with Roserade right now. So the initial thought process was bring in Flygon, but I really didn't want to get pigeonholed into something where I could easily get countered. Last time they brought in Togekiss. They have a wide variety of Pokemon that they can kind of predict with and, kind of escape what I'm trying to do with Flygon. So I end up actually going into Raikou. Raikou was my best move because I am faster. Now, I also can take an extreme speed pretty well, and even if this Entei does switch, I can get good damage on whatever comes in, because I obviously am not going to go for Thunderbolt or Volt Switch with Garchomp still being a threat looming. I just decided to go for Scald because I think I could still burn something like Togekiss. I could still burn Magnezone if Magnezone comes in. Either way, it's just, I have to see what happens. They ended up just staying in and going for the extreme speed. I go for Scald, and I do take out the Entei, which is great on my part. This thing did a lot more mind games and damage to my team than I wanted it to do. And like I said, unfortunately, I lost a mega powerhouse like Starmie a little too early, and that's just what's going to kind of fluster me moving forward. Right here, the Magnezone comes out, and I know immediately I have to switch out the Raikou. I can't go for a Scald. The Scald will not kill it. The Magnezone is just... Magnezone goes so crazy. I think I was worried so much about Entei that I slept on Magnezone, I'm not going to lie. So it takes me a full 60 seconds to decide what I'm going to do, just because no matter what I switch into, something is going to get pretty wrecked. I decide that Flygon's the safest option. I know they're not going to go for a Thunderbolt. They're not dumb, they know I have the Flygon. It's just a matter of what attack they go for. They go for the Tri-Attack, which was probably the safest bet, and Flygon can't take one more of that. It's definitely a 2-hit KO right there. Now here I am definitely plagued with the decision. Do I go for Earthquake? It's safe, it's easy, but I think I was just so nervous that he would bring in the Togekiss like last time. I actually end up over-predicting, going for the Iron Tail, and man oh man, does that suck, because Tri-Attack kills the Flygon. I no longer have my Flygon, and that's that. Oh, gosh, this Magnezone really is my biggest obstacle. And like I said, I slept on Magnezone. So right here, it's a matter of what the hell do I do, and I'm looking at my team. There's not much options. You know, Scizor, Roserade, and Ambipom cannot do anything to this threat. So I have to bring in Scizor just to chip away at it, and also I know that he's more, I guess, inclined to switch out the Magnezone, considering that Tri-Attack will not be doing anything of significance to me, especially if he's locked in, which I'm pretty sure at this point he's locked in. So he has to switch, and he goes into Garchomp, which will take the U-turn. And yeah, I'm just trying to play my cards right here. I'm trying to make up for as much ground that I've lost. Losing Flygon was very detrimental. That hurt me significantly. But I go for the U-turn. Garchomp is unfortunately not going to be booted out. And right here is another tough move. Like, what do I go into? I can't bring in Roserade because I won't outspeed, so I kind of have to bring in Ambipom. And, whew, guys, this is a tough battle. I think I just got so far in my head. I could U-turn here, which I kind of wanted to, but I also didn't want to U-turn and then have to bring in a Pokemon. Then he has the advantage. So I just decided to go into the Fake Out, and thinking that was my safest bet. And I don't know. I think once I lost Flygon, I just completely lost all momentum. I got very nervous. I got very scared. I was very anxious. But that just means it's a good battle, right? So I'm just trying to stay positive, trying to keep my head afloat. I see that my opponent goes out into Weavile here. Not a favorable matchup. Obviously, this thing is much faster than Ambipom, considering Ambipom is very fast too. So, two big speedsters. I should have switched into Scizor. I think I didn't want to take a Throat Chop. I'm thinking about it now, I definitely could have taken at least one from the Weavile, and I could have just gone for Bullet Punch. But again, my head just wasn't screwed on right in the moment, and I sack the Ambipom. I don't know. But it is okay, though, because I did start to formulate a plan, and I think the reasoning behind sacking the Ambipom was that I wanted to keep my pivoters. And you'll see here, and it's unfortunate that I was kind of killing off the clock. My timing between the turns was just so long. I was running damage calcs, and I was too busy over-predicting that I wasn't actually thinking logically, mainly once I lost the Flygon. So I do end up going for the U-turn, and I was hoping they would bring in Magnezone, because now I can kind of go back and forth between my Pokemon, right? So I go for the U-turn here. It does a good amount of damage, and now all I have to do is bring in my Raikou. I can continue to go back and forth with my pivoting. So I can just go for a Choice Specs Volt Switch freely and get as much damage as possible. I don't need to worry much about the Roserade. I can stack that at any point. But with his Pokemon that are remaining, the only two Pokemon I really need to play my cards right with are my Raikou and my Scizor, because Raikou takes care of Togekiss and Milotic just with Thunderbolt alone, and Scizor with Bullet Punch takes care of Weavile, no problem. So I need to make sure that I play this very smart with my last two Pokemon, or even though I have three, I just need those two. However, I am running out of time. I only have 3 minutes left. I took way too much time in between my turns, as I specified that already. I was just, again, too busy overthinking, too busy running calcs. I think even here I was deciding what to do, and it kind of dawned on me, again, just start pivoting, because I'm fast enough, and that's all I need to do is just get this Magnezone out, and then I'm in the clear. So I go for the Volt Switch. It does a good amount of damage, and now I can freely sack Roserade. However, time is of the essence, and sadly I am running out of it, because again, like that, the whole problem with this battle was just I took so long. I only have 60 seconds left, so I have to just click through my turns as quick as possible, but between the animations and you know, both of us having to make our decisions quickly, it will unfortunately not be in my favor. Most likely. I'm not going to spoil the battle. So all I have to do right now is just click off on Volt Switch and hope that he doesn't wind down the clock. But clock's ticking, clock's ticking. He's going to kill some seconds. I mean, I don't think he's actually running down the clock. He could have if he wanted to, but he doesn't. Right now, he's actually going to decide on a move. The Volt Switch will take down the Magnezone. I get to freely go into my Scizor just in case they want to bring in Weavile, because with the Weavile against my Scizor, Bullet Punch will take out the Weavile. I'm really thinking about this like longevity-wise. I could have won this battle, no problem, hands down, had I not taken forever. And you'll see there that it's the end of the battle. And normally I'm actually okay with a 20-minute timer on battles because I'm not a fan of stall, but this is when it really sucked because you kind of have to make your decisions very quickly with these types of battles. And I like to run calcs. I like to kind of take my at least a minute in between turns without having to worry about, it being a 20-turn battle. But that's the game, and it was determined by the clock. But great first match to Golden Boy. Again, I'm going to link his channel in the description. Part 2 is coming soon. I will edit that and post that hopefully tomorrow. And you'll see who is the winner of this 3-part series. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.